T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and...
Welcome, everybody. We are your hosts, Rockinmrmagic.
UNIQDNA.
This is the original Jeek podcast.
Gang. I don't see no competition in my face.
What yeah.
If we do, then we just move them out the way. I don't even need no money in my face. Hold on. Give me the money when I finish with the gang.
It's your boy Rockinmrmagic of Jeek Nation, and you are about to get into another episode of the original Jeek podcast. This podcast is currently in progress due to some audio issues, and we're sorry for that. One way to help us avoid audio issues in the future is by supporting Jeek Nation. And you can support us one way by using Ibotta. Ibotta is a free app you can download in your iOS or Android store and use it to redeem rebates on your purchases, whether it's through the app online or by scanning and taking a picture of your receipt. Using these cashback rebates, you can redeem gift cards or even get cash via PayPal or Venmo. By redeeming the rebates and using our referral code, you can support us and save money when you shop. So download the Ibotta app or go to their website, ibotta.com, that's ibotta.com, and use referral code CH7K5A. That's CH7K5A. Now on to the episode already in progress.
They applied a lot of pressure and it's like, you're going to have to make great passes again and again to beat us. And Jared Goff wasn't up to the challenge.
He wasn't. And
No.
McVay did not look like he had Goff prepared for what he was going into.
No, because, I mean, the Rams are a faster team, and they want to, space the field out and everything. And Belichick was like, good luck spacing the field out when we're going to rush up the middle and you're not going to be able to make your reads. And, he would go to his first man right away, and the Patriots knew exactly where his first read was, and they took that away. And, he's not good enough to make adjustments.
It looked like he wasn't even checking down. It looked like he had a set target that he was going to throw to at every play. I didn't even see him checking down on his receivers. And it's tough when you're trying to do that. I mean, he's what, his third year? Yeah, third year. Yeah, third year. Is your first time anywhere close to this deep in the playoffs, and you're trying to combat this defense. You're not getting anything on the running game. Every freaking time they get on the field, first down they're running the ball. It's not working. Why are you continually getting yourself in 2nd and 10 and 3rd and long? Where then now you're putting more pressure on your very nervous and untested quarterback. Like it was bad game planning by McVay. They didn't adjust at all, and Goff was overwhelmed. I felt bad for the kid. He was overwhelmed.
Yeah, I mean, the key to beating the Patriots is they're old and slow at linebacker, and you need to get to the outside. Running up the middle, what played in their strength. I mean, if you stretch the field out, you're going to outrun them to the edge every single time. But they, seem to stick to, we're going to run up the middle, we're going to set up the play action pass, and it just doesn't work against that team. You need a faster team that gets to the edge faster. Like, they should have thrown some, 1-yard passes to the outside and have the guys on one-on-one matchups and try to beat them. But, McVay stuck to what he wanted to do, and I think Belichick kind of knew that. I don't know if you saw the clip on the Inside the NFL show, but Belichick was watching the sidelines on McVay. Like, when he lost him at the one point, he's asking the booth up above, like, where's McVay? I got to find him. I got to see what he's doing. Like, he just was going to outcoach Sean McVay that day. And it was clear that he did. I mean, McVay was in awe of the genius that is Bill Belichick.
It's, even though bad plays happen, bad calls happen, we really should have been seeing a Saints-Patriots Super Bowl where you have two great quarterbacks, both old, both still playing extremely well, and we would have had a much a higher scoring game, probably a little bit more entertaining to the masses compared to a defensive battle. I enjoyed watching it, but most people would have, the casual fan would have wanted to see a lot of scoring compared to a 13-3 football game. But you would have also saw a better coaching matchup between Sean Payton and Bill Belichick.
I mean, yeah, I think the difference would be that Drew Brees is able to make adjustments at the line. So obviously, whatever the Patriots are going to do, he's going to, make an adjustment to that and put them in a different play. I think the Patriots would have scored more. It would have definitely been a more high-powered offensive game than this one was.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to we're going to make Drew Brees beat us because Drew Brees will beat you.
He will beat you, yeah.
Yeah, so
that's not the right game plan.
Yeah, that's definitely not the right game plan. But you have all these young quarterbacks in the league, and they're great, during the regular season. But you seen with Pat Mahomes, he had some big numbers and big plays at the end of the game, but when it mattered, when the game was really on the line, he didn't know what to do. He relied on his running a little bit too much. And when they took away Tyreek Hill and Kelsey, he looked lost sometimes. And then, he is so good and he can make those throws at weird angles that, of course, they're going to score some points. But, I mean, they didn't score anything in the first half. Belichick just shut them out. And those guys, are going to have to learn. When Brady won his first Super Bowl, he wasn't what Brady is now or what he was a couple years ago.
He game managed that first Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He was not the driving force of that win.
Yeah.
He managed the game. He did. It was not to the same level, so I don't want to compare them, but it was very much like, what's his name? I can see his face in my head. I always draw a blank on him because he was so unimportant.
What, Trent Dilfer?
Yes, Trent Dilfer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did what Trent did for the Ravens. He managed the game. He didn't turn the ball over. He made key plays, but he wasn't the driving force. The defense was.
Yeah.
And then Brady continued to develop and get better and became a driving force. And that's what these guys like Mahomes, these guys like Goff, and these other talented young quarterbacks, Wentz and others have to develop. Mahomes, I feel bad for because
we're gonna put Wentz at a elite quarterback right now.
I said talented young quarterback. I'm not saying elite. I'm not gonna call Mahomes elite, even though he's an MVP. He had one great year. Let's see if you can have more than one. Eli Manning's had a couple great years. He's never been an elite quarterback in my life.
Wait, Eli Manning had a couple lucky catches. Let's not say great years.
He had some great seasons, and he had some really bad seasons. But Mahomes, I feel bad for because Andy Reid is not the guy I would want to develop him because he's never been able to take a quarterback to the next level. That's just you can bet on it. It's Andy Reid.
Yeah, I mean,
you can only develop so much under Andy.
Well, and the problem I think with Mahomes in the future is that's going to be the best team that he has. I mean, he's going to get money in 2 years. They're not going to be able to put the weapons around him, and he's going to have to be able to do more. Same with Goff. You're not going to have
that Russell Wilson's in.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to win with less talent. Now, maybe they can, be Pittsburgh Steeler lucky and draft wide receiver year after year after year and, have these talented guys. But, I mean, you're relying on a lot of rookies in the future to do what Kelsey and Hill do because you're not going to be able to pay everyone.
No. Even losing Kareem Hunt, it's going to be still hard to pay everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Kareem Hunt. I don't even want to talk about that one.
They've already talked about him being restated. He'll be back. That's a foregone conclusion.
Oh, he'll definitely be back. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know that you have to definitely suspend that guy, but I don't know. I think they might have overreacted on cutting him because he's going to play in the league again. They definitely shouldn't have played him this year at all, but I think that's a overreaction to get rid of him, especially when someone's going to sign him next year. You could have, at least held on to him and traded him.
Yeah,
he didn't.
That was that was a panic move on Kansas City's part.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a PR move. It works for them. You definitely don't want to be where the Redskins were when they signed. God, I can't even think of his name right now. Oh, whatever. I blanked on that. You could just cut this part out.
when they signed.
Who's that guy they signed from the 49ers?
Reuben Foster.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, but then his girl who said that he beat her, then she admits she was lying.
I mean, did she admit that she was lying, or did she get paid to admit she was lying?
She said she was lying. Well, it's like the chick, Francois of Florida State. He got kicked off the team, and then the girl came out and said she was lying.
Yeah,
and she obviously didn't get paid off because he ain't got no money.
I mean, Kansas City already has Tyreek Hill, so I guess you can only have one guy that beats women on the team per time, unfortunately.
And Tyreek actually did hit her.
Yeah,
that one wasn't lying about it.
But that's in college, so apparently it didn't matter to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, none of the stuff that these guys do in college. I mean, Mixon.
Yeah.
If it happened in college, and they were provoked,
Except if it's Winston and stealing some crab legs, then it's a big deal.
Well, Jameis wasn't worse to begin with. Jameis he's out there eating W's apparently. That's why they can't get one because he's too busy eating them.
Well, he must be full because he hasn't had one in a while.
Well, exactly. He's too busy eating those W's out there.
Yeah.
They're a mess. Now that we've crowned another Super Bowl champion, what is? Yeah, you're the most optimistic pessimist I know when it comes to your New England Patriots.
Yeah.
So, what do you project for the defending Super Bowl champions for the 2019-2020 season? Are they going to be in the Super Bowl for what, the 5th straight year?
It'd be 4 out of 5.
It'll be 5.
5 out of 6.
Yeah, it'll be the 5th straight year if they make it in 20.
I mean, it depends on a lot of the offseason right now. I mean, we have a lot of draft picks. 12 draft picks this year, 7 in the first 3 rounds. So that looks really good, but you don't know what's going to happen with Gronk. Is he going to retire?
He is a shell of himself.
Yeah, but a shell of himself. The thing is, they wouldn't win without Gronk right now, and he doesn't need to be what he was before.
Do you make him the second tight end?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking you draft a young tight end and you keep Gronk blocking, and you use him once in a while, but you keep him healthy, and when you need a big catch, you go to him and stuff. But he can be great still at 70% of what he was before, just because he's not like a Kelsey or
he's not upper echelon anymore.
Yeah,
his body's so broken.
Oh, what's the guy that was on the Saints and now is on the Packers? I can't think of his name.
You're talking about Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham's not even close to what he used to be.
Well, but like Jimmy Graham only catches. Jimmy Graham doesn't block. Gronk blocks. So when you put Gronk in there, you have an extra lineman. And, 70% of Gronk is still a great extra lineman. And they can run these heavy sets on, teams that have speed linebackers now that aren't big. So they have a huge advantage in the run game if you keep him. So I would hate to see him go. I know his price tag's high and you're paying for an elite tight end. If he could restructure his deal, I think he would be great on the team going forward. But, I mean, his body might be broken down, and I wouldn't fault the guy for retiring at all.
You make a great point, and I'm going to officially apologize to Gronk. I have ragged him for his blocking. I've always said he's attempted to, but he's generally most of his career he's not a good blocker. This year, with his body being the shape it's been, and him not being as effective in the passing game, I was extremely surprised at how well he blocked on the pass and the run this year. I was like, wow, okay, Gronk, to me, he was in my top 5 of all time tight ends. He jumped up to like my number 2, number 3. He's in my top 3 now because the way he blocked there, I was like, dude, okay. I can't fault him for the era he played in. He didn't play in an era like a Shannon Sharp or a Kellen Winslow Sr., where you were catching and blocking consistently. So I can't fault him for playing in a different time. But I was like, he's throwing some blocks.
Well,
and I was like that. They needed a lot, especially when they were running the ball, near the end of the game, and they need these extra yards. And Gronk is moving, lead block, and I was extremely impressed because modern tight ends, most of them cannot block.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a fact that they're pretty much taller, slower wide receivers nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy Graham is a wide receiver that just happened to line up at tight end. That's He was never really a tight end.
But I think when Gronk gets hurt, his blocking gets a little bit better, though, because a lot of his blocks before used to be shed blocks where he'd pretend to block or just, quick hit the guy and then go out for a pass. But, now they just keep him in. They're like, he's not even going to go out for a pass. So, his blocking's gotten him a lot better this year. And, there's supposed to be some good tight ends in the draft this year. I would like to see him, stick around, block, maybe mentor that guy. Yeah, knowing that he's going to be out of the league in a year or two. I mean, he doesn't spend his paycheck, so, I mean, he doesn't need to play, but he could, add
live at home.
What?
How nice is that to be an NFL star, make all that money, and live at home with your crazy family?
I mean, his family is nuts, and
yeah, they are.
I mean, Gronk is like, sometimes I'm like, I love you, Gronk, but I'm like, God, I just wish you would just put it down, like just a little bit. Like at the party, he's grabbing his girlfriend's boobs and stuff like that.
I was like, I hope he knows that chick, because if not,
I'm like, we're gonna have the next Patriots scandal right here. Like,
exactly. Like, oh my, I'm like, while watching the next Patriots scandal, like, come on, talk about Me Too times 10. Like, he's all over these chicks too.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, he got really drunk and stuff, and it's great. I mean, he has a good time and stuff, and he's just like a little kid, and you love him, but at the same time, you're like, God, I just don't want to hear about this. Like, just do it in the privacy of your own home, Gronk.
Right.
Bring all the girls you want over and grab them.
Right.
But then he's so lovable too, because they had a picture when he. Yeah, I mean, he had a picture when he got home, and there's all these little neighborhood kids, and he's taking a picture. Like, he's such a sweet and lovable guy. He's
a big goof.
Yeah, he's a big goof. I mean, he thinks he's going to be a wrestler or movie star, and I mean, that ain't happening, I don't think. But
movie star, no, he's a little ugly for movie star. But you know what? So is Dave Bautista, and Dave Bautista can't act, and he's getting paid, so you never know.
Yeah, I mean, there might be a role for Gronk out there somewhere. I mean, I could see a reality show for him. That would be the way to go.
Honestly, I can't see that, because that would be boring, because he would just be crunked all the time, and it would get really dull and really repetitive. I can see him working for Vince. I can see that.
What does he do, though? Like, I mean, he's going to be like Mojo Riley's tag team partner. That gimmick sucks.
Yo, I forgot about Mojo. Okay, well, Gronk has a lot more charisma than Mojo. Gronk is not a talker, because he talks, he's incoherent. You'd have to give him a manager. You'd have to give him someone good too. He'd have to be like, if they would let Paul Heyman redo the Dangerous Alliance or some form of that, and Gronk became one of his clients, along maybe with a Mojo Rawley as a tag team, I could see that. He's extremely athletic. If you worked with him, he could be convincing in the ring. I'm not saying he'd be a top guy. He's not going to be a top guy, but I think he could make some money with Vince and on the tag team scene. Maybe a maybe a U.S. title and an IC run as a single to see how far he could go. But you think of all the great wrestlers. A lot of them have been former college football players. Austin, Rock, Goldberg. Dusty Rhodes, Harley Race,
Yeah, I just don't
Flair.
see it from him though. Like,
Even the Usos played college football. Roman Reigns played college football. There's a pipeline of college football players to wrestling. I don't know if he could be a top guy again, but I could definitely see him as a mid-carder.
you know what I'd like to see though? Like, you know how the NBA TV has what, like KG's Den or whatever?
Oh, that's on
They,
TNT, but yeah, they
on
have
TNT, yeah.
yeah, that's Area 21.
Okay, Area 21.
Yeah.
So with the new deal coming up for the NFL in the future, we'll probably go to like Amazon or Facebook or something like
They've
that.
already got Thursday night games on Prime.
Yeah, I know. So, but I'm saying, like, eventually you'll have, a full slate of games on some kind of streaming service.
Yeah.
I would like to see different audio sources because they're already doing, like, they have the Spanish ones you could select. Sometimes they have the British ones.
Mm-hmm.
Gronk doing games in a party atmosphere would be amazing. I mean, if Amazon would pay him whatever he wants and just have like Gronk announcing games, drinking beer, doing whatever he wants to do.
See, I can't see that on Amazon because they don't seem to have the flair. I could see that maybe on Netflix more than Amazon because they seem to be willing to go outside the box a little bit more. But it would definitely be funny.
Do you think Netflix would go for football?
Netflix knows they need to get into sports. They know that because they know movies and shows are not sustaining them. They know they've got to continue to go outside their box.
Would they go wrestling?
Yes, they've already done it. They had up until last month they had Lucha Underground on Netflix.
Yeah, reruns and stuff. But they do live wrestling.
They don't do live anything. So
no, they haven't. They could though.
They could. I don't know if they would do live wrestling. I think it's something they should consider. If I'm Amazon, if I'm Hulu, Hulu already has WWE, but if I'm Amazon or Netflix, I am seriously talking to AEW. I'm trying to figure out what Impact's trying to do to compete with that because people want to see it. A lot of people, on some of the wrestling Facebook groups I'm on, they are pissed that Netflix dropped Lucha Underground. They were like, "Yo, what? Come on, why?"
Is that the move for AEW to go to a streaming service instead of TV? Would you be better off on a streaming service than on a cable?
Well, if they're going, it depends upon now. If they're going to do like Impact, they're going to record in seasons, and then I think yes, because you can release it episodically once a week if you want to, like Impact does, or you can just release it all at once and let people binge. Like, it's up to you as far as your style. I think a streaming service makes sense. I think probably if we're talking about doing it more the way WWE does Raw and SmackDown, if you're doing a live thing, then I would say partnering with Twitch, and which is tied to Amazon, would make more sense then, because then you can have maybe a service where you get to watch some house shows for a subscription, but you can watch for free on Twitch what they do as far as a regular episodic show. It depends upon what their strategy is.
See, I don't know if you could do a pay. I don't think a pay subscription service works for that. It's really hard to grow a base when you're forcing people to pay to watch your product. But if you have like an Amazon Prime, if you have a Netflix, you have a built-in audience of people that already use those products. They should have. I think they would have more views on those services than they would have on cable.
Okay, so that's a great point. So how about this? They piggyback on Fight TV.
But how many people have Fight TV? Like, way more people have Netflix and Amazon than have Fight TV. Same thing with the ESPN.
Way more people, yeah, but I mean, how many casuals are going to start watching AEW that aren't already wrestling fans?
But the Fight TV, though, I mean, I have a lot of friends that, are in the UFC and stuff like that, and they don't like wrestling. If they like, UFC, unfortunately, they think wrestling is fake and they won't watch it. I mean, they'll watch, like the Royal Rumble or something like that, WrestleMania, but they're not going to watch every week. I think you have a built-in base already on a service that doesn't have that many subscribers that don't want to watch your product.
Well, I mean, it's a thing is, like, there's already wrestling has been on Fight already. All In was successful, with being on Fight. So I think there's already some traction there compared to going to Netflix, because it's still a subscription service. People are still paying for it. They're just not paying AEW directly for it. So whether it's Prime, whether it's Netflix, whether it's Fight, you have to figure out, are you trying to take advantage of the wrestling
Hulu that no one mentions that?
It's like, are you going to try to get only the wrestling base? Are you trying to bring in people outside of the wrestling fan base? Like, what is your ultimate goal there? I would think I would go just for the wrestling base to first to find out, hey, are they going to actually watch our show? They know who we are. They've seen some of our roster. This is what we're going to call our show. This is how many pay-per-views we're going to have a year. And we see how many people are actually going to watch by partnering with a service that's already established. And then, like you said, if there's a success, maybe they can branch off on their own or go from a smaller streaming service to a bigger one. Maybe they partner with Pluto.tv and they just put it on for free there, and then go for a whirl and see if they can go to somewhere where they're going to get some money out of it outside of advertising.
I mean, these streaming services got to grab as much stuff up as they possible, because we're in a bubble right now that's about to burst, because you got ABC, Disney that's about to come online next year. There's just going to be way too many streaming services that people can't pay for. So you're going to have companies get the most that they can. Like, this is why you need us. We have all of this stuff. So you're going to have to get sports in there, because, Disney ABC is going to, have ESPN as well. And
yeah, they own everything.
Yeah, they're going to have all the Marvel. They got Fox now too,
Fox.
right?
Yep,
Yeah.
Fox.
I mean, so are people going to pay for 3 services, Amazon, Netflix, and whatever that Disney one's going to be? I mean, I'll probably keep 2, but one's going to have to go.
I mean, having them all is still cheaper than paying $100 per month for cable.
No, it is. But then you have to take into consideration your internet fee as well. I mean, that's the hidden cost of streaming too.
Right.
Whatever you're paying for internet.
Exactly. That's tough. I've been saying myself, like, am I going to keep Netflix? I have Hulu. I've got Netflix. I've got HBO now.
What do you keep Hulu for, though? Like, you keep it for just TV?
I just restarted Hulu. I did the trial before. I paid for it for a little bit, but I wasn't watching much on it. I have Hulu now only because of that promo they did for the year. So I'm getting it, for 99 cents a month. But mainly what I watch on it are the couple things that used to be on Netflix that aren't there anymore. So I'm watching it for some anime, like, Full Metal Panic, stuff like that. Archer's on it. Archer's not on Netflix anymore. I watch it for the wrestling, I because if I miss Raw or SmackDown, I don't have cable, so if I don't find a stream for it, if I miss Raw, SmackDown, or NXT, I'll watch, the truncated version there. And, just some of the shows that you like. Family Guy used to be on Netflix, it's only on Hulu now. American Dad used to be on Netflix, now on Hulu. So some of the stuff I like to watch that I can't watch on Netflix anymore because they don't want to pay whatever, licensing fees, I have to go to Hulu for. I would prefer if Netflix had kept all those, so I'd have had Netflix for longer, but they keep raising their prices, and they end a lot of the content that I had them. I love Netflix because they had stuff I wanted to watch on repeat. They had the things I mentioned. They had, they had Chuck. They had Battlestar Galactica. They had Monk. They had Psych. They had Burn Notice. All that stuff I liked is gone.
Yeah, I mean,
Except for,
I
think
like.
that's really Burn Notice. Like the rest of no, actually no, Burn Notice is gone too. Oh, I have to watch. I have to go to Prime for Psych. I have to go to Prime for Burn Notice. I have to go to Prime for Chuck. All the stuff I loved on most of the stuff I loved on Netflix is on Prime or Hulu.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer Netflix because I don't watch a lot of repeats. I like all the new content that they have come out all the time. Like their documentaries are great. I like some of their movies. I mean, they're not always great, but some of them are good. Um, that's what I stream all the time. Amazon sucks for the most part. I mean, their movies, like once in a while you'll find some decent stuff, but I don't find myself watching Amazon as much.
Their original content is lacking, except for The Man in the High Castle.
The Man in High Castle, that was good. I like
That's
that.
excellent.
Yep.
I tried watching Jack Ryan. I can't take the dude that plays him seriously. I look at him and he looks like a goof. Like I can't take him seriously, especially after watching Alec Baldwin and freaking Harrison Ford play Jack Ryan all these years. I can't look at that dude and take him seriously as Jack Ryan.
No, he's still Jim from The Office.
I don't even watch The Office. Like to me, he just looks like a goober. I didn't even know him from. Yeah, I didn't even know it. I don't like The Office. I watched like 2 episodes. I didn't find it funny. So I don't even know him from that. I just look at him and say, I can't take this dude seriously.
I mean, the only thing that I watch on repeat is me and the wife watch Friends, like when we're eating or something like that. Like that's kind of our. It's our. You want to know how white I am? It's our 3rd time going through every episode.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's a great show though.
Oh, I can't stand it, but
I mean, if one of them would get Golden Girls, I would love to watch that.
Yo, I will watch Golden Girls on repeat too.
Yeah,
Golden Girls was dope. But like they have some of the shows I love. They have a lot of classic shows. They have I Love Lucy on Prime. They've got the Dave Van Dyke Show on Prime. Classic stuff I love to rewatch. They got C Lab 2021 on. Like there's stuff I love to watch on there. Where Netflix is more focusing on their own content, and I understand that they've made some good stuff and they've made some terrible stuff. Every 2 good movies, there's 10 ones aren't worth pressing play on. They're doing great on the anime side. I give them props for that, and they're not doing enough to keep me, saying, "Hey, I gotta see what's on Netflix." And knowing that they're going to lose at Disney. Part of the allure was, hey, they have this deal with Disney. Now that's that's going away. It's like I don't have a huge reason, to keep them. I can't. I think the last thing I watched on Netflix was Solo, because I didn't get the chance to see it in theaters. So they say, hey, it's on Netflix. Okay, all right, I'll watch it.
I mean, I watched the Ted Bundy tapes. I watched that Fire documentary, which was great.
See, you've always watched docs. Like I have no interest in watching Ted Bundy.
What?
Ted. I'm not fascinated by a dude that murked 30 women. Like I'm not fascinated to hear from them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it was a crazy documentary, though. I mean, like. Well, the guy escaped from prison twice. Oh yeah, he's crazy.
Come on.
And then they got the movie coming out this year on him with Zac Efron.
Mm-hmm. I even tried today. Like someone on my Facebook feed posted a link to the very last interview he did with James Dobson, and it was the day before he died, the day before he was executed. I'm like, all right, everyone's talking about, all this Ted Bundy stuff. Like, let me try to watch this interview that he apparently requested with James Dobson to die the day before he got executed. So I press play, and I'm working, and I'm watching and mostly listening, and I'm like, my mind started. I was like, I'm bored. Like he's talking about how he grew up, and he grew up in a very nice, loving home, and his parents were good people, and his brothers and sisters were good people, and and I'm like, okay, I'm bored. And then I started kind of half listening again. He's like, so I'm not blaming this, but part of the reason why I did what I did was because I got into really violent porn, And then it wasn't enough, so I started acting out, and I started doing this. I'm like, okay, I've heard all this type of stuff before. I'm not. I don't want to listen to this dude give me excuses on why he murked 30 women. Like,
but if you watch the documentary, that's kind of the things you see, though. He was a very manipulative person where he would change, on who he was talking to. He would say what they wanted to hear. I mean, if they wanted to hear like rock and roll is like demonic and killing people, who'd been like, I listen to rock music that killed, like, that's why I killed people, because of like Ozzy Osbourne and stuff like that. Like, the porn was a big thing at the time, so that's what he used as excuse. But he just pretty much wanted to kill people, and like he thought he was smart enough to get away with it, and for a long time he was. I mean, you wouldn't have a Ted Bundy nowadays because with all the DNA stuff. Yeah, I mean, but I mean, he knew that he could kill people when they kind of got on his tail. He would move to a different state, and they didn't share information between states, and he could just start again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why I like that documentary. But, I mean, that's some of my favorite stuff to watch. I like to learn when I'm watching TV. Now I watch, like, all those Adam Ruins Everything on Netflix and stuff. Those are good.
I've watched some of those, but his delivery just gets annoying half the time. I'm like,
It is. A little bit, but it's enjoyable.
Like, it's a little over. I'm like, bro, just tone it down a little bit. Like, come on.
But isn't it funny now? Like, people watch all these shows. Like, people are watching more TV, I think, than ever. Like streaming or on TV. But no one talks about it anymore. You don't know like what your coworkers and stuff watch because you don't watch the same things anymore. Like, even if you watch the same shows, you watch them at different times, though.
It depends.
You watch Game of Thrones live. Everyone talks about that.
Yeah, everyone talks about that.
And then you had like Bird Box for
they just don't
a week.
The conversations don't last as long as they used to because so much content comes out consistently. I mean, remember when we were kids? A movie would come out. If you didn't see it, we had to wait a year before it came out on video. And
yeah, and I don't have to go to the movies as much anymore because if you can get past that first week where people are talking about it, then you can just wait till it comes out on video or like a streaming service or something like that.
Like Solo. Like I said, I just watched it. I knew when it came out I wasn't going to get the chance to go see it because I had no time. And my wife was still working third shift at the time, so I can't leave the kids by myself to go watch a movie. So it's like, I know I'm not going to get to see this film. I didn't hear any spoilers about it.
Yeah.
And so nothing was ruined for me when, that movie came out, what? Was it August? Something like that? September? Something like that?
No, I don't even know. I mean, I saw that.
It hasn't been a full year.
I saw that on video, yeah. I didn't see that on movies.
But I saw that on Netflix. I'm like, okay, hey, I got a 60-inch screen. It's just decent enough for just me.
I only saw like 2 movies in forever. Like I saw Bohemian Rhapsody, and I saw Glass. That was my last 2 movies. And the next movie I'm gonna go see is the Fast and the Furious movie because
oh my
God forbid if I don't see that on the first day, I'm gonna get divorced. My wife is like, oh my God, it's got The Rock and it's got Elvis.
Vin Diesel.
No, it doesn't have Vin Diesel. Yeah, I just.
Oh, that's right. That's Idris Elba. Yeah. This is the Hobbs and Shaw crap.
Yeah, that is.
Pickups
get the ladies wet.
Pickups to Rocky for taking a small role and turning it into a spinoff, but I have no interest. And I love Rock. I love Rock, and I love Idris, but I have no interest in watching a Fast and Furious spinoff. That's just that.
They're entertaining as hell, though.
They stopped being entertaining to me after after the first one. The second one was so bad. Tokyo Drift was horrid.
I've never seen Tokyo Drift.
Oh, don't! It's so bad.
I don't plan on it.
So bad.
If I missed it up to this point, it's not like I'm like, oh my God, I got to run out and see Tokyo.
But
Drift.
actually, Well, the thing is, Tokyo Drift happens after the events of 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So it probably actually happens after whatever they're doing in Hobbs and Shaw, too. So it's technically the last, even though it's the third one that came out, it's technically the last movie of the franchise as far as timeline goes. So it's technically a good thing that you haven't seen it yet because you haven't.
Well, then maybe in like 20 years when we catch up to that timeline, I'll go watch it. But I'm going to avoid it for the time being.
That's a smart move. Who wants to see Bow Wow in a movie anyway?
Not even his father.
I don't know. I just, Rocky's doing some great things in film, and I'm proud of him for Ballers.
I haven't watched Ballers.
You haven't watched Ballers?
I've watched like the first 2 episodes, and I don't know. I just didn't. It was good. It's just I didn't watch it every week, and like with HBO, it's kind of like I only watch the shows that are on every week. Like I love True Detective, so I watched that. Game of Thrones I obviously watch every week, but I just don't binge watch HBO shows. I usually look for movies when I go on their app. I don't search the show section.
It's definitely a good watch. The first season was good, but there was a little too much of the lifestyle porn. Like, hey, look at the big houses, look at the parties, look at the Lamborghinis. And
I think that's what it was for me. Was it seemed to be like an entourage for jocks.
Yes.
And I've already seen Entourage.
Yeah, season 1 was definitely Entourage for jocks. Season 2 developed more story-wise. I I've been remiss. I haven't even seen season 3 yet. And I've been remiss on True Detective for this season 2, and I've been so excited for it.
Well, that's been a great one. I mean, season 2 was not good, but this one has been really good so far.
Season 2 was interesting. It was different.
If it was maybe if it's his own show, I guess I would like it a little bit more. But after season 1, it was such a letdown that
Well, think about how high the bar was set. You had freaking Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, and then you follow it up with, Irish boy. The
Vince
Irishman.
Vaughn.
No, not Vince Vaughn, but I love Vince Vaughn, but the Irishman. What the Irishman pretty boy?
Conor McGregor.
Not Conor McGregor. He's never been pretty. What is I can't believe I forgot his name. I can see his face.
Oh, Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell, yes. I mean, I'm getting old because I'd never forget names. Colin Farrell, and then Rachel McAdams or Rachel Adams or McAdams, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
It was just such a convoluted, what I don't know, what was the point of half of that?
It wasn't enjoyable.
No, and when they did have an enjoyable episode, they ruined it with the next one. The whole thing was like Colin Farrell not knowing if it was his kid or not because the kid looked nothing like him, and the kid was like, "Why have this?" Like, it did nothing to help the story. It did nothing for his character. Him getting McAdams pregnant out of nowhere did nothing for the story. If they would have focused more on Vince Vaughn, as a criminal, him and his wife and their fertility issues, that would have been better. And then they had freaking Tim Riggins, in that, and I'm like, I was like, I'm like, okay, Tim. So they're showing that Tim Riggins is gay. So he's got to go in his bathroom and take forever to get hyped up to have sex with his girlfriend. And then they did nothing with it. If you're going to make a character you're gay for the point of the story, do something with it. Don't shoot him in the back and be like, oh, that's done. I'm like, what? You do all this character development to piss it down the drain? Get out of here with that.
I mean, Hollywood's got to do something for Tim Riggins because he was great in Friday Night. I mean, he'll always be Tim Riggins to me.
Oh yeah, he's typecast forever as Tim Riggins. Like, I can't see someone from Friday Night Lights except for Kyle Chandler because I was a fan of his way back in early edition. So like, he's the only one that I didn't know of before.
But I still say, hey, it's Coach whenever I see him on TV.
No, yes, no, well, yeah. I mean,
I mean,
it's definitely been his best role. I mean,
yeah,
he hasn't done anything to top that. And I knew Michael B. Jordan from The Wire before Friday Night Lights. So those are
yeah.
the only two that I had ever seen beforehand. But yeah, I mean, I see guys who I'm like, hey, smash. I see Saracen on things like they are forever tied to those roles. Like they'll never be anything else. Connie Britton is always, she's just Coach Taylor's wife. So it's just,
The new one for me is that fits in that category is Randall from This Is Us. I don't know if you watched that show.
I haven't watched that show on purpose because everybody tells
Because you're gonna cry all the time, man. Yeah, you will cry. But I mean, I'm like watching Predators,
and I feel bad because Sterling Brown is such a great actor. I'm a big fan of his, and I'm like, I can't have this brother have me all crying every week. I can't be doing that, man. I can't.
Oh man, I don't want to, but I mean, it gets dusty in the house sometimes when the show's on. I mean, I think my wife just loves to like look over and like, "Are you crying?" I'm like, "No." It's so sad though. Like that's a really good show.
Well, they've got a great cast.
Yeah.
They got Sterling, they got Milo. When I look at Milo, I think of Heroes. Like just.
Yeah, I mean, I think of Heroes too. But he's definitely much better in this role than he was in Heroes.
Oh, they also turned his character into crap on Heroes too, but I won't go into that. Such a wonderful start for a show, and then just to turn it into garbage.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens though when you have to like run these. I mean that's why shows on Netflix and Amazon stuff are a lot better, I think, because you only have to do 13 episodes. A lot easier than doing 26. Which is so amazing why This Is Us is still good. Because, they have to do like 20 episodes a year.
Yeah.
And they keep it interesting and they make you cry. I mean, I think sometimes they definitely go a little too gimmicky to make you cry and stuff like that. But it's because speaking of, there's a good movie on Amazon by the guys that did This Is Us, which is crazy. I can't even think of the name of it right now. But it's got like do you watch It Girl or whatever? New Girl?
Oh no, I couldn't stand that show.
No.
No. I don't like the Dashnells. I don't like either one of them. I'm not a fan. I don't hate them, but I don't. I don't vibe with them.
I liked the first 2 seasons, and then it got a little too crazy for me.
I tried watching Bones before.
Never watched Bones.
Because that's her older sister. I look at them. I'm like, I didn't. Elf. To me, she ruins Elf for me. And I'm not a Will Ferrell guy, but to me, she's like, I'm like, why are you so drab? You're drab.
Well, she ruined Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy for me. So
thank you. I was about to say that too. Like,
yeah.
Oh, and like she's got so many strikes for me. I'm like, I can't.
I mean, she definitely does. The only movie I liked her in was 500 Days of Summer.
I didn't see that one. Probably she was in it.
That's a really good movie.
It's
one of my favorites.
Dashnells. No Dashnells for me.
Really? Well, 500 Days of Summer might change your mind.
No. What's it about?
It's about a relationship that breaks up.
Yeah,
really
I've seen enough of those.
No, it's a good one though. It's probably in my top 5 movies.
That high?
I mean, I change my top 5 movies all the time. I mean, my number 1 will always be Forgetting Sarah Marshall, but yeah, the other top 5 changes depending on my mood. I like really. There's not a movie that I don't like. I I
I
watched
know, which is
lot.
why I
Yeah,
laugh, because you are consistently you.
yeah. I mean, I can find joy in pretty much any movie, or see something. I would be a terrible reviewer because I'm like, you gotta see that movie, you gotta see that movie, you gotta see that movie. But I finally found one movie that I didn't like. It was Dark Crimes with Jim Carrey. It was some, you know, made for a foreign country film, and I did not like it. It was pointless and bland, and but yeah, I can find joy in any movie. I just watched Tag the other week. I loved it. Thought it was hysterical.
I didn't see it. I do like the concept, but
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I actually want to watch this. Like, I shouldn't say that. I knew I did not want to pay money to go to a theater and watch it. I was like,
Oh,
I
it was on
might.
HBO for me, so
Yes,
I'm
I was
like,
like,
I'll watch it. Yeah.
I might watch this on a streaming service. I'm not going to pay to go watch it.
No, I mean,
But
I
the concept
definitely.
seemed fun. Like, I said to myself, this is the type of long-standing grudge game that I could see some of my friends from high school and I carrying on for 20, 30 years. Like, okay, I can see that.
I mean, I got what's that? Channing Tatum and Mila Kunis movie, Jupiter.
I try to avoid anything with Channing Tatum.
No, I know, but it was the guys that, or the guy girl that did The Matrix. They changed or whatever.
Oh, the Wachowski, what are they now? Wachowski trans sisters? I don't know what to call
We'll
them.
yeah, well, you'll call them something.
The Wachowskis. The Wachowskis.
Siblings, the Wachowski
Yes,
siblings.
yes, because they have an actual sister that is a sister, female, I think. The
Yeah, if it
Wachowskis.
wasn't male. Yeah. But yeah,
Did she change
Jupiter
too? I don't
Ascending.
know.
I don't. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
but yes,
crazy.
the Wachowskis came out with another film. Yes.
So, however long ago that came about, I finally got to watching the whole thing because I kept falling asleep after all these years and stuff. It wasn't that enjoyable, but I could see what they were going for. It was.
The Wachowskis have such great ideas. Unfortunately, they only executed great one time.
Well, did they do that Cloud Atlas movie? Was that them? With Tom Hanks, Halle Berry, bunch of people. I might IMDb in that one right now. I think they did that one. That was pretty good. I watched that multiple times. Let's see. So much fun when you're IMDBing on the. No, I guess they didn't.
Yeah,
no, they did.
Cloud Atlas. Yeah, they did Cloud. They did Cloud Atlas. Yeah, they did that. I think the notable
Are they
ones.
both girls now? Lana?
Yeah, they're both. They're both trans now.
Oh, okay.
The notable ones I can think of when I think of the Wachowskis, I think of obviously The Matrix,
Okay.
V for Vendetta, Sense8.
Yes.
Did Sense8.
Didn't see that one.
Even though the movie sucks, in my opinion, they did Speed Racer.
Never seen it.
Don't bother.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, I like movies, but I avoid movies that I know I'm not gonna like.
Like, I think it's like I love Speed Racer, so I was like, oh, a Speed Racer movie? Okay, I've got to see this. Then I saw it, and I wanted to punch somebody.
Yeah, I love to play the game Battleship, but I didn't go see that movie.
Oh my God! It's the fact that they made a movie.
Yeah.
Oh, and it had Rihanna
Tim
and Tim Riggins. Think, oh my God, Tim Riggins, stop taking these bad jobs.
Yeah.
Please. I don't. In that X-Men when he was playing freaking Gambit, that was like, dude, he's.
Yeah, I mean, he did ruin Gambit for me. Gambit deserves a little bit more.
So
better
much
than that.
more than that. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, can we just put the animated Gambit in the live action movie?
Stop. Just stop with all the live action ones. Make some animated ones, because some of these characters, like I saw the trailer for Captain Marvel. I do not want to see Captain Marvel now because she looks terrible.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, especially with DC, the DC movies are terrible. I mean, I haven't seen Aquaman yet. It did pretty good in the theaters, and I'll see it when it comes out. But obviously,
I saw the Aquaman. It was okay. It wasn't as good as Wonder Woman was, but it wasn't as bad as, let's say, better than Suicide Squad, not as good as Wonder Woman, but not
I
as
still
bad as
defend
Batman v
Batman.
Superman.
Oh my god,
That
I
movie was
defend that
terrible.
movie to death. I
That
love that
movie was
movie.
terrible. Oh my
Nope.
god, it was so bad.
No, I disagree with you on that one.
Horrid.
Did you see the extended version?
I did, and I can't believe I sat through it on HBO. It was horrid.
It's great.
Oh my god, it was so bad. And then
No.
and then I watched Justice League, and that was also time of my life wasted.
But did you watch any of the DC animated ones that they released?
I love the DC animated ones. The DC is killing the animated movie game.
Yeah. Did you see Batman by Gaslight?
Yes.
That one's great.
Oh yeah. The
Death of
animated stuff is
Superman,
fantastic.
Reign of Superman. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
It's great.
The animated ones are great.
Yeah, they're knocking that out of the park. Just every time they put real people in it, it's trash.
Yeah. Well,
Except for Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was okay. Wonder Woman was good.
Yeah, Wonder Woman was good. I mean, we'll see what 2 is going to be like.
Justice League. Oh, I thought they.
Shazam will.
Shazam looks like. The thing about Shazam is I think I'll like it because they're going for full campy, the full campy style that when Shazam came out. Like I think it's going to be more of a fun, we're parodying ourselves type of film compared to these, super dark, can't see anything Zack Snyder directed stuff. It's actually going to be very bright colored, very fun, very campy. He's got the exaggerated muscles, and come on, who else is going to better play an adult with a child's mind than freaking Zachary Levi? Come on.
Will Rock make an appearance in the credits? Well, they don't do credits in.
They don't do credits in for DC, but he should make an appearance in credits because he's supposed to be Black Adam. So
yeah,
he should make an appearance.
I don't know why they don't do that one first.
Well, because you can't do the villain have a movie before the hero, man.
I think
bad storytelling.
Oh well, nothing that they've done worked so far, so might as well try something different.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
The recipes. Well, this is a fun one. So I think this is going to be a nice change of pace. And Zachary Levi's hilarious. He's a lovable goof. So who else to play Shazam and have these over exaggerated muscles as Billy Batson than him? Rocky should be a fine Black Adam because he doesn't have to say much. He's got to look good. It's a perfect role for him.
Did you watch Legion on FX?
Yes.
I thought the first season was really good. I did not watch the second season because FX, for some reason, I don't watch it to know when their stuff's coming out. So I always fall behind on it.
The only thing until I was watching Legion, the only thing on FX or FXX that I was watching was Archer. Legion surprised me on how good it was. Just like The Gifted surprised me on how good it was. This is
which one?
Gifted.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, that one is also good. If you like Legion, you'll like that. The Runaways, that one.
Yeah, I mean, I tend not to stick to the weirder one. I didn't watch Iron Fist or.
Oh my God, Iron Fist was so bad. Don't do it.
I won't.
Unless you want to laugh at Finn Jones, don't do it. Because, let me say this: the supporting cast was good. You had the dude from 300 that narrated the whole movie.
Yeah,
the one with that got his eye cut. Yeah, he was in that. He was good as a villain. The two people that the dude and the woman that played his kids were both good supporting characters. The chick that got to play Colleen Wing was great. The problem with Finn Jones is terrible as Danny Rand. He's just horrible, and he can't fight. I for a while I wondered why, because as a Game of Thrones fan, as someone who had been reading A Song of Ice and Fire before the show, I was wondering why they didn't show any fighting scenes, with Loras Tyrell. The only thing we see him do is the jousting scene in the pilot. We don't see anything else. Well, there's a reason why you don't see Finn Jones fighting against Sir Loris Tyrell, because he can't fight. His choreography was there's words can't describe how bad it is. Like, it is. Anyone who's studied martial arts for 15 minutes looks at that and says, "Shoot me now." It's so bad. It broke my heart for such a great character that I've always been a big fan of to just be portrayed so poorly. And
yeah, I have a problem with
especially how good
Marvel,
Daredevil is. Daredevil's so good. Luke Cage was so good. What?
I see it. This is the problem I run into. I want to watch Daredevil. I want to watch Punisher.
So good.
But my wife doesn't get into them as much. Like, she likes them, but they're kind of a little slow, a little heavy. Like, she wants to enjoy her evenings and stuff, and I can't Netflix cheat. So
you need to go over that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't break the Netflix cheating code, so I watch when she falls asleep and stuff. I watch like reruns of Twilight Zone and stuff. Oh, they're redoing Twilight Zone too. I saw them.
I heard Jordan Peele is supposed to be front running that.
Yeah, we'll see if that's going to be good. I mean, this is, I think, the third time they're trying to do another Twilight Zone. They did one in the 90s too, I think.
Yeah, I think Peele could do it because he seems to be very dedicated to it. Get Out was excellent. This new one, and you know me, I'm not even a horror guy.
Was Get Out excellent though?
Yes.
I
like.
Okay, I liked the movie. I did not like the social commentary on it. I didn't see it. I thought it was just.
But it's different for you. See, I've lived that outside of someone trying to hypnotize me. I've lived that, and I've lived that.
No, I get it, but I think it's a little too far of reach. Their new one looks pretty good too, but I think with that what's that called? Us,
yeah.
I mean, that one looks like they're just hammering you over the head with the subject matter in that one.
I don't know. I mean, it looks intriguing. I doubt I'll see it because I'm not a horror guy, but
I mean, I like Get Out.
Intriguing.
I like Get Out a lot. I thought it was a really good movie, but then when I not only do I watch movies, I go online and like read about them and stuff. And when I saw that, I'm like, all right, I get it, I guess. But can't you just enjoy the movie?
Different experience for everybody, because for me it was like, that's been me going to the white folks' house all the time. Like I know, being the black boyfriend, going out into the middle of the country where there's not many of me. I know what that's like. Thank God no one's tried to hypnotize me into becoming some victim, but or if they tried, they failed. But I'm not easy to hypnotize. But
no, and
the commentary spoke to home greatly for someone like myself.
Go back to the Patriots really quick. I got so drunk during the playoffs. I don't drink. So
Yeah, I thought you weren't drinking that much anymore, man.
no, I don't. But for the playoffs, I got some beer. I'm like, oh, we're playing San Diego. We're gonna make some food and stuff, the pizza and the wings, and I'm gonna get some beer. I haven't drank in a while. And then the first drive, I got Sam Adams because, of course, it's from Boston and the Patriots.
Boston.
So you gotta have, and it's cold snap because we got to break the snap of not winning the Super Bowl in 1 year. These are all the choices that I make going into these things, by the way. So I get my beer, and I start watching the game. I get it on kickoff, and they score a touchdown, and I'm like, all right, that worked. I got to get another beer now when they get their second drive. And they scored a touchdown. And then Slippery went off quick. And then they get the ball again. I'm like, they got to keep scoring.
Keep snapping now.
So I get another beer. They scored 4 times in a row. So 5 possessions in a row I had a beer. And they're not super long possessions. So
No,
I had I think I had 6-7 beers in the first half.
Nice. All right.
Which was a lot for me. I mean, back in the day, it was nothing, but I mean, now it's, oh my God. So every time the Patriots got the ball for the playoff games, I was having a beer, and we got pretty drunk. I haven't drank since, and I probably won't drink for a long time. But
you're probably still hungover.
Honestly, I forgot what happened after the Kansas City game. I was pretty the Super Bowl I remembered. I hydrated. I knew that it was, and luckily, I didn't need to drink as much because we weren't doing anything.
There was one touchdown.
Well, I mean, I was drinking, hoping that they get a touchdown. But I will say, though, I knew the Patriots were going to get the touchdown on the drive that they did. They did, and they won. And I hydrated. I didn't get that drunk. I enjoyed it. It's not my most enjoyable Super Bowl. I would say for 6 championships, that was probably number 5.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
hey, wins
it's not going to beat Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta.
No,
was a great comeback.
You can't beat that comeback. That comeback was historic.
It won't beat Seattle.
Yeah, that game was so back and forth, and you had that last-second interception. Yeah, that was an instant classic.
It can't beat the first one.
No.
So right there, you're at.
You can't beat either of the Vinatieri heroics, the Panthers or the Rams.
No, so I mean, I put it behind.
That's number 5. Yeah, that's 5.
Yeah, I put it behind the Panthers. Yeah, number 5, and the Eagles being 6.
Yeah, because that game was actually kind of boring.
Eagles fans, I find amusing nowadays though, because they're still trying to be like, well, we still beat you last year. Like this, okay, guess what? Enjoy your one. We got the one after, and we have 6-year one. So enjoy, because
they're just happy that they've actually finally won their first ever.
Well, that's the thing. Stop talking about it now, though, because I mean, enjoy it for your guys, but let's not talk trash anymore, because you didn't stop the dynasty. You thought you stopped the dynasty. You didn't. Get over it. We're still moving on. We'll see who does better next year.
They're Eagles fans. They don't live in a sense of reality. You know this.
I mean, the Giants have more than them. They beat us twice.
Do.
The Giants have more reason to talk than the
The
Eagles
problem for the New England is facing NFC East teams in the Super Bowl, because they are unfortunately 0-3 against the NFC East in the Super Bowl.
No, not true.
Who would they
1-4? Who's number 6 on the list of Patriots Super Bowls? Eagles and the Patriots. The Donovan McNabb year, where he threw up on the field.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yes, that's right. Yes, I forgot. Yeah,
don't worry, I forgot about it too.
Because that Super Bowl was still like blah.
Yeah, it was. And then Donovan McNabb went blah on the field.
Hey, he was playing. Unfortunately, only he and T.O. came to play that game for them.
Well, yeah. I mean, McNabb didn't come to play in the final drive, though. So.
Well, you I don't understand. Like, you can't fault the man if he didn't feel well, but it's not like his play suffered. He still did what he had to do. He still delivered the ball. He hit T.O. when he was open. Like, he did his job. Unfortunately, for them, because I was rooting for the Patriots, as I wasn't rooting for the Eagles, but
Yeah.
Donovan did his job. T.O. did his job. The rest of that team did not do their job. But that's, of course, most of that's on Andy Reid, which is why they lost. Andy Reid can't get it done.
Yeah, I mean, Andy Reid needs to. You know how Sean McVay has the guy that holds him on the sidelines and stuff.
Yo, how do you get that job? How do you get paid to move a guy around all game? Yo, they will pay anybody to do anything nowadays.
Well, he has a clock manager too. I mean,
like, for real, how easy is it to be a head coach nowadays? You don't have to manage the clock. You don't even have to worry about where the ref is. You can pay somebody to physically move you to stay out of the way. Like, for real, come on.
I mean, you see, there's not a lot of good head coaches.
And you have so many more coordinators now than you ever did before. So many more coordinators.
What would happen if a team hired one of the Madden pros to run offense for them?
Probably better than some of these.
I mean, I wonder that sometimes too.
I would have taken a Madden pro over freaking Jim Bob Cooter. Did
Yeah.
for my Lions offense.
Well, I mean, you have Matt Patricia, who I think Bill Belichick might have thrown the game to him.
Don't even look.
Be like,
don't even get me on. Matt
he's a rocket scientist. Did you know that?
I don't care. There's nothing for my football team.
No, but
and not just I talked about this. We talked about this when me and David went over our preseason predictions. There's something with it's a testament of how great Bill Belichick is, because there's something with his assistants. They can't cut it as head coaches. Charlie Weiss, Romeo Crennel, McDaniel, O'Brien, Patricia, all his disciples suck as head coaches. They're good coordinators. They're terrible head coaches.
They don't have Tom Brady.
Not even that. They just can't get it done.
But the problem is, like, when you have Tom Brady, like, he sells what Belichick teaches. Like, you can't be that type of coach unless you have a leader that's going to listen to that. And, you heard the Lions players this year, complain about practicing in the snow and stuff like that. Like, or they're being too hard on them. Like, these guys, I mean, look at the NBA nowadays. Like,
oh, don't get me on how soft these cats are.
I'm just, they sign somewhere and then they want everything to change around them, or they want to go somewhere else, or like Anthony Davis is now like, well, here's the list of teams that I'm willing to go to. Like, you're under contract with us. You don't tell me where you're going. Like, we'll get the best deal for you that we can get. But if you don't want to be here, then why should I do you any favors?
Yeah, if I'm AD, I'm staying and I get the money. Because $280 million or potentially $300 million, woo, that's a lot of money.
I mean, he can get that if he does a sign and trade with Boston, but apparently he doesn't want to go to Boston because they did Isaiah Thomas wrong.
No, that's what his father said. That's not what he said.
I don't understand how they did Isaiah Thomas wrong. Like, they got a chance to get Kyrie. They traded him for a better player.
For a better player. I know.
And he was injured.
Yeah. And he's still injured. He hasn't played a minute this season. So
the Celtics are supposed to, tank their team because he had a great and he had a great run in the playoffs, and it was great. But
he had one good year.
Yeah.
I mean, his first year in Boston was all right, but there's a reason why Sacramento traded him to Phoenix.
Yeah.
The reason why, or was it the other way around? I forget. No, Sacramento traded him to Phoenix. The reason why Phoenix sent him to Boston. There's a reason why this guy keeps getting traded. And then Boston was like, hey, okay, yeah, well, you had a good year. Thank you. But, we could get a better player who doesn't want to be with LeBron anymore. So we're going to send you away. And then what did Cleveland do? Hey, you know what? You still have some value. Not enough for us. We'll send you to the Lakers. And the Lakers said, you know what? You don't have enough value. We're going to cut you. And Denver said, we think you might have some value, but he hasn't played a minute for them. Like people, it's like Anthony Davis talking like they cut Larry Bird or somebody. Like, come on, this was not cutting Paul Pierce or
No.
KG or some Boston legend. We're talking about a dude who played 2 seasons for a squad and had one really good year.
Has any other team gotten better players for junk than the Celtics have? I mean, they got Kyrie for Thomas, but the haul that they got, I'm not calling Paul Pierce junk because I love Paul Pierce, but he was, past his prime when they traded in the Nets and KG. And the haul that they got for that was amazing.
It was insane. Now, Danny Ainge has fleeced or been gifted so much in his tenure in Boston. It's insane because
Garnett first and got Ray Allen.
Because the whole Garnett deal was, as far as like, if you're going like when they blocked the Chris Paul deal, I was pissed because they're like, oh, that's that shouldn't go down. No, what shouldn't go down is Kevin McHale being the GM of the freaking Timberwolves, gifting his Celtic buddy Kevin Garnett for nothing. Because that's what they did.
And they got what? No, Al Jefferson was a good player.
Jefferson was a underdeveloped, he wasn't even a starter yet. Talented, yes, but he was nowhere near that level. That was not fair compensation.
I'm surprised he didn't work out. He was a good player. I mean,
he worked out, and he was a 2010 guy for at least 6 years.
But that's not how the league is anymore, though. You can't be Al Jefferson.
Well, now you can't. But even at that time, Al was still flourishing. He was just flourishing in Minnesota, and
you're not flourishing in Minnesota in the wintertime.
The team was trash. But that was not equal compensation. McHale, who bleeds Celtic green, did his old team a favor because he would have rather seen the Celtics win than him keep his asset. And that's ridiculous.
But if they would have won the lottery that year, got second and got Durant, then KG wouldn't have went there.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the reason that the whole plan was to get KD.
Yeah.
And then they ended up with Ray Allen and KG, so it worked out for them.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't want to sign with the Celtics. I mean, I think that's the problem with the NBA now, too. Like, they don't want to go to these cold weather teams, except if it's the Knicks. Apparently,
I don't even know if it's the cold weather. A lot of these guys don't want to deal with the pressure of playing behind the ghosts of Laker past, ghosts of Celtics past.
Well, they go to the Lakers, though. I mean,
not as much. I mean, even
I
Lakers.
guess Paul George didn't.
Paul George said no. Kawhi has said that he doesn't want to be a Laker. Like, Kawhi said he'd rather play for the Clippers. Since when did people pick the Clippers over the Lakers? A lot of these players don't want to deal with the pressure of playing behind these greats. They don't want that type of pressure.
Well, yeah, I mean,
players used to want that pressure. They wanted to be able to live up to those expectations.
But I think they want it to big markets now, though, and now they don't need a big market
because of social media. You don't need the big market to be a big celebrity.
Yeah,
because you used to have to be in New York or LA to make, except for Jordan, nobody really else made it off the court.
Well, Chicago's third largest market. I mean, let's not say the Bulls were a small market team.
It is now. When Jordan went to the Bulls, they were a small market garbage team. They were not even in the top 10 of markets when he got there.
Chicago was a big city.
It's a big city. Detroit's a big city. Indianapolis are big cities. For basketball markets, it was not a big basketball market when Jordan got there. He turned it into the third biggest market for basketball. But it wasn't.
I mean, I think people, when you talk markets, though, you more talk population size than basketball history and stuff. Because
I'm not talking about basketball history, but just the market for basketball, the consumption of basketball, it was low in Chicago. It was extremely low. The franchise was a joke, and he turned it into the third biggest market for basketball in the country, still behind obviously New York and LA, but they went from like 15th or 17th or something like that to number 3 because of him. He's the only one who was able to really make it off the court in a small market and turn it into a big market. Everyone else that really made it off the court, our extracurriculars, was in a big market team.
Well, I mean, I think once they lose Davis, I think New Orleans is going to have to move. I don't think that's good.
They have to move Drew.
No, I think they have to move cities. I don't think it's going to survive. Basketball will survive in New Orleans.
Where are they going to go? Seattle?
I think Seattle. I mean, I think Seattle deserves a team.
They had a team.
Well, they supported the team. They just didn't want to build a new arena for it. It wasn't lack of fan interest.
To me, they shouldn't have to. I'm sorry.
They shouldn't have to what? Build a stadium? That was David Stern, though. I mean, that was the problem. Like,
no, I'm not saying that. I mean, the problem to me, if you're a billionaire, you own a basketball team, you understand that you're making an investment. Do what Jerry. You know, that's one thing you respect Jerry Jones. He built his own freaking arena. He didn't put it on the taxpayers. He built his own arena. You know, or if you can't afford to build an arena, do what the Baltimore Orioles did. Let the people put in for it so they can make some money back out of it. Don't put it upon taxpayers to have to build an arena out of their taxes. That is some supreme garbage to me.
Well, I think when you look at it too, when you look at the owners that have built their own stadium, they tend to be more successful franchises, like Jerry Jones. Robert Kraft built his stadium.
Yes, he did.
You know, the Cronkies building his stadium, and they have they're definitely trying to win and stuff. I think when you have owners that are just trying to like fleece taxpayers out of money, like it's just an investment for them. They don't care about the product as much because they don't have their own money invested in it.
Exactly.
So I think you have to look at these commissioners and make sure that, ownership has a huge stake in part of these stadium deals going forward, because it only puts a better product on the field.
Yep. It should be that way across the board.
I mean, the only one I think, unfortunately for you, that, does that kind of stuff is your team. Like, and I think, the Fords are just too, they're just too loyal to people. They stick to their, loyal people that aren't getting the job done.
Oh my God!
You got to move on sometimes.
You telling me? Come on, man. They stuck with Matt Millen for way too long. I love that the Fords are loyal people, and I love that the Fords are loyal to the city, but their football decisions are terrible.
Yeah, I mean they're not great. I mean, when's the last time you guys won a playoff game?
1992, Dallas. Barry Sanders went buck wild, and then we lost in the NFC Championship game to the future champion Washington football team.
Oh, you won't say the Redskins?
I do not. That's a racial slur.
Oh, well.
But Mark Rippon and Art Monk were, and that team were a much better football team than we were. We had one dude. We had one player.
Who was your quarterback that year?
Scott Mitchell.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was Scott something.
Scott Mitchell.
Well,
Rodney Pete, Andre Ware. Just terrible, terrible quarterbacks I had to watch.
Yeah.
Then we had one receiver for one time. We had Herman Moore for a couple good years, but.
Yeah, and I mean, Stafford, I think, is kind of overrated now too. I think that happens a lot in these days.
So over Stafford. I like the kid. I can't call my kid anymore. He's 30 years old. I like the guy, but
he's only 30. I thought he was older than that.
He's like 30, 31. I like the guy, but they need to trade him while he has value. They should. While they're talking about Fournette for Foles, stuff like that. No, Detroit should be like, look. We'll send you. You need a quarterback. We'll send you Matt Stafford. That'll get you over the hump. If they had a quarterback and they were healthy all year, they would have been a much bigger threat.
I don't think Matt Stafford's getting you over the hump.
Much more than freaking Blake Bortles is going to get you over a hump.
Yeah, I mean
that's a severe upgrade from Blake Bortles to Matt Stafford. Much bigger upgrade.
They can't afford him though. I mean, that's you got to. I mean, how much Matt Stafford's
you got. Sometimes if you want to win, you have to pay a little luxury tax.
You can't pay luxury tax in the NFL. Though. It's not like the NBA.
Oh, I mean, that's right.
It's a hard cap.
Hard cap. I forgot it's not a soft cap.
Yeah. So you can't trade Stafford.
I paid him way too much money.
I mean, you look at it, like the Eagles are asking for a 3 for Foles. I mean,
that's because they have 2 quarterbacks. And to me, like, try to keep them because if the way for them, if I'm them, hey, this guy gets me through the regular season. This guy gets me at least performing well in the playoffs. I mean,
I don't think you can keep him though.
But honestly, where is he going to go? Because when he did leave, he was terrible with the Rams.
No, I know that, and it's probably best if they would get rid of Wentz. I think.
But all this talk about how he's a bad teammate, that's ruined his stock a bit. Like
I bet you get more than a 3 for Wentz though. You could get at least a 2.
I doubt it because he's never played a full season. He's always hurt.
Yeah, I think Jacksonville would give up a 2 for him.
For a quarterback who's always hurt and is a bad teammate, that's too much to give. And he didn't help himself either by saying that he could have been a better teammate.
Yeah, and
he said
I wouldn't change teammate. Either.
Like, what? Dude, what? Like, you just killed your stock now. Like, come on.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's a long off season right now. There's going to be a lot of movements. Who knows what the draft is going to? I mean, the Raiders could just be insane in the draft this year.
Chucky's is going to. I can't stand him anyway. I don't know what he thinks he's doing with that squad.
Yeah, but when he has 3 first-round draft picks, I mean, he could just luck his way into a decent team in the future.
I bet you he uses all 3 picks on quarterbacks and they all suck. Like, yeah, I never understood why people think he's some freaking guru. Like
because he won the Super Bowl with someone else's team.
Yes, he has Tony Dungy's first ring, and then after that, he was supposed to be this quarterback guru to develop all these quarterbacks. Phil Simms' kid, and all these other QBs that did nothing.
No.
Absolutely nothing with him. Like, why do people think he's some genius? Because he sat on ESPN and talked like he was a genius? Like, dude, Tony Romo was sitting on TV and talking like he's a genius, and he couldn't get it done.
No, I mean, I definitely think the ESPN thing and waiting so long helped him out a lot.
$100 million in ownership stake? Come on, that is highway robbery. He should be arrested for that robbery.
He is a name, though.
He is done stealing from them.
Oh.
You're our most consistent guest on your annual appearance.
Yeah. But
always. Peace.